Welcome back to the channel. Today, we are doing our Awkward Chats podcast preview.
Yeah, we're going to talk about our Halloween plans for the month. If you want to see the full podcast, make sure to check us out on Spotify, Apple, or wherever you get your podcast.
So come get lost with us. So just some technical difficulties that we had.
Technical difficulties. We're just going to move on. So we were talking about different types of apples that you can get at the apple orchard. Mm-hmm. So like if you're interested in like Macintosh, which I know is like the big one that most people like.
Yeah.
And then there's a few others too.
I like galas.
Yeah, so you want to check like when they're growing when they're being picked, I should say. They're always growing. It's just when you can pick them. We don't really know what's going to be there. We're kind of going blind and just going to enjoy the experience. We're not going for any specific apple. Mm-hmm. And the one good thing about Mercedes is they always have the donuts. They always have the alcohol. So it's not, even if you go in off season, they still have the stuff.
They always have the cider.
So you always have those opportunities to get something, which is why we're not super worried about the apples. But when we did it in New York, you had to go during certain periods to get things. So if you're going to an apple orchard, just make sure to check ahead of time because sometimes that can actually get you some issues if you're looking for something specific.
Yeah, we had actually heard about another orchard that was supposed to be in McKaysville area, but we couldn't really find any more information out about it. So may take a little bit more digging to see if that one actually truly exists. And one of the other things that we really want to do, and I don't know if we'll get to it this week, is to take the train from Blue Ridge over to McKaysville. Mm-hmm. I think we really want to do it on a day when the leaves are actually turning. Now, we were just talking off camera about the weather. It's been really warm. It says that it's 84 degrees outside right now, which is 10 degrees warmer. Think about that. 10 degrees warmer than it usually is this time of year.
Yep.
So it is unseasonably warm. So the leaves have not changed really. I mean, there's some that have started changing, but it's at a much slower pace than what it usually is. And we're kind of hoping that when we get back at the beginning of October that we will be past this like heat wave that is blowing through.
Heat wave's been freaking me out.
Pretty much. And maybe we'll get to take the train when the leaves are like really in their prime.
In their prime.
And we can kind of just enjoy the beautiful weather and just have a really fun fall day. So that's another fall activity we're hoping to tackle.
Yeah, the deer are actually walking past outside. It's crazy. We live in the woods temporarily for now, and it's definitely a different pace than it was in Las Vegas.
Yeah.
And that kind of rolls into our next topic, which we're thinking about doing some trunk or treats.
Yeah.
So if you check this out on our Insta, TikTok, we shared Daphne, and we also shared Coda, and we were kind of thinking about what kind of Halloween costume. And the big thing was for the trunk or treat.
Yeah. We so far are thinking Scooby-Doo.
Yeah, it's in the lead right now.
So I would dress up probably as Velma, mostly because my hair is closer to that and I wear glasses. And we're thinking Gary's going to dress up like Shaggy, and Daphne will be Scooby-Doo, and Dakota will be Scrappy-Doo.
Scrappy-Doo.
And I guess we'll take the Volt and turn it into the Mystery Machine. Or we can take your dad's van and actually be a van. But we're not quite sure. We're still looking for the actual dates. So that's one of the things we're going to do, because they don't do trick-or-treating up in the mountains.
Yeah, they only do this trunk or treat thing, which is basically like you go to the town square of the town, you pull into a parking spot, you open up your trunk, and that's where the candy is. And you get like folding chairs. You just kind of hang out and talk to people and just have a good old time hanging out with town folk.
Yeah. So we're kind of excited to do that because we've never done a trunk or treat up here. And there's also been like a couple other like Halloween/fall events. So if you guys have seen any of our videos on our channel, Helen, which is just a little bit south of us, they do Oktoberfest for the entire month of October, and we think even a little bit in September.
Yeah, we think they've actually started because they already had like the banners and stuff up when we went past a couple weeks ago.
So we've driven through during Oktoberfest, but we've never taken part of Oktoberfest. So we may decide to partake in Oktoberfest and maybe drink das Boot of beer.
Yeah, we definitely probably going to do it as long as we're here. There's a couple things going on in October for us. Nasia's sister's having a kid, so that kind of puts stuff up in the air. We were going to go to a wedding in our hometown, but due to circumstances out of our control, we need to watch the dogs, and so my dad can go. So we're not going to be going down immediately, but we're still going to be doing those videos we talked about where we're going to show kind of our hometown and where we grew up. And then it's kind of like the rest of October is pretty open for us. We got some paperwork stuff for both of our businesses we need to get done, but that's not going to take more than a couple days.
Yeah, we have decided to take like a whole month off from work just because we've been working pretty much nonstop all summer since we really left Las Vegas in April. Like we took some of April and some of May off back at the beginning of the year, but since then we've just been like work off, and we really just deserve to sit back and get some filming done. Like we said, like there's some trips we want to do. We're probably going to do a Florida road trip when we do go down for when my sister has her baby. We were kind of talking about that off camera, so maybe we'll throw that in a future podcast, what our plans are, because we're still hashing it out. Yeah. Exactly where we want to stop, because if you guys know anything about Florida, it is a long state. There's a lot of nichey little side road things. Plus, like you said, we want to show our roots, kind of like where we're both from. Right. We got to dip our toes in just a little bit in the last week when we went back for my sister's baby shower, which we'll talk about in just a little bit. And it was an interesting trip back in time. So
yeah, we're gonna kind of do it like the Route 66 one, where we map out some stuff to hit. We're gonna hit it along the way. We're gonna be doing some traveling. We'll show you the different like geographies and the cool little like architecture that's along the way. Plus, there's so many little small towns in Florida too. Yeah. And definitely some old. I mean, if you think about it, St. Augustine is supposed to be like the first steps onto the U.S. of anybody. So that's kind of the beginning of that, and kind of hitting all those little cute pieces there, and just kind of having fun too, trying to see stuff maybe either we haven't seen before or we haven't seen in a long time. And there's a bunch of like museums and stuff too along the way that we want to hit up.
One thing that we did find out last week that we were actually kind of upset about is that the shell factory in Fort Myers, North Fort Myers proper actually, is closing, and it's going to close like literally like it was like a week after they made the announcement, and it was like the day after we left. They released the article, and had we known, we would have moved heaven and earth to go check it out before they closed. So
yeah, we actually had plans on our return trip, so we were supposed to go back the first week of October, and during that trip one of our stops was going to be the shell factory. We found out literally the day after we left. I was looking on Facebook and saw the article that just posted from like NBC or whatever it is down there saying that they were going to close, and there's only like 2 weekends left. And it was like, oh, that's cool. If you would have posted that yesterday, we could have hit it up before we went to the airport, or we could have figured something out, you know, like, and now we're like, well, we don't really want to go back down there to see it. So we're stuck.
Yeah, we're a little bummed. We'll probably still like show the outside, and we'll probably just kind of tip our hats to it, because that was one of the places to go check out. And
it was a niche roadside attraction. They added like some rides and some animals. I don't know if those are still there. That was kind of at one point, but the majority of it was basically like shells from the beach that they would glue and make artwork from. Yeah. You'd get like baby crocodiles and formaldehyde jars, and you get like sharks in jars. And you would just have like this whole collection of weird oddities that they would have in the gift shop. It was a cool experience, but I can understand why it's closing too, because it's not like there was much to it other than just the oddness of it.
Yeah, there's not really a whole market, I think, for that down there. So we'll probably still show the outside. We'll see what it looks like when we do make it down there. But yeah, we were a little bummed about that.
Yeah, so that's kind of one of our change of plans when we go to Florida, that we won't be able to see that this time.
But yeah, so those are kind of our fall ideas. There's a few more that we have kind of brewing. We're just going to see how much time we have. Because even though it's easy to just get in the car and drive somewhere, it does still take some effort of planning. So we're excited to see what we get done in fall.
Yeah, in fall.
In the fall.
So this is going to be the end of our YouTube preview. So if you like this, be sure to hit that like button.
Make sure you hit that subscribe button.
And ring that notification bell so you get notified to at least 3 videos a week.
And we'll come and get you guys for the next one.
Ain't that the truth? Baby Ruth. And for all those on the podcast, we'll be right back in 1 second.